Yeah, so earlier today, when I
Mhm.
was watching Shogun Episode 8,
Mhm.
I was watching it in my Vision Pro, sitting there with it kind of leaned back, but then also had my laptop on my lap, the screen being mirrored inside the Vision Pro. So then as I was watching and then I wanted to write some notes down, I could write some notes down. Well, while I'm sitting there doing this, the doorbell rings. I'm sitting right there on the couch. So, and I'm like, I don't want to have to like take all this.
Yeah.
So I just move my laptop to the side, get up, and I see it's the FedEx guy bringing a package that I had to sign for. So I go to the door. I literally sign it while I sign my Vision Pro. The guy acts like everything is
didn't say
normal.
anything.
He did
Wow.
not say a thing. I signed for it. He's like, here you go. Here's your package. He's like, have a good day. I was like, thanks. Shut my door. Walked in and I was like, that was kind of crazy.
Man's a pro.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's seen crazier.
Maybe in some ways, yes.
Yeah.
Some things that are way, way crazier.
Yeah.
I don't know
Also,
about
that's
technology-wise, they're crazy.
no, but I mean in other ways, yeah. Also, that's like you're living in 3024 with that setup. That's awesome.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV. And if you look and you see nothing, you must look harder. I'm Josh, your host, and my co-host, Jered.
Once loyalty begins, it does not have an end. Otherwise, it would not be loyalty.
Very wise. Very wise.
Mhm. Actually, I thought about that one too, that you said that was a good one.
So today we are covering Shogun Episode 8, The Abyss of Life. But before we do that, a little bit of what we've been watching. What have you been watching, Jered?
First, I want to know, how many do you have this week?
I kind of like 2, basically.
Okay.
And not a lot even to say about.
Okay.
Well, one of them definitely not a lot to say about it.
All right. I have technically 4, but one I'm not going to really say anything about. So,
Okay.
3.
20 minutes later.
I know. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm wondering if any of these will be ones you've watched yet.
Okay.
Although I guess one of these you already said you have not watched yet.
No, that's right.
But I'll start with the one I don't need to mention anything, but I just say this is my comfort show right now.
Okay.
We'll call it. Is just continue with it with It's Always Sunny rewatch. Because although I'm still finally on the final season of Curb, I'm trying not to see anything about it because the finale just happened and I don't want to know how they ended that. I'm just hoping that they tie it in with Seinfeld somehow. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll even reference the Seinfeld ending. That would be funny. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I'm just like, I don't want to know
They'll
anything
end up
about
in jail again.
Yeah, maybe it's just him this time, yeah. Or, yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm sure, I didn't think about that. I wonder if any of them will actually show up. Because none of them have since the actual Seinfeld reunion season on Curb. I wonder if any of those actors will show up. That'd be cool.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, yeah, so It's Always Sunny. I'm like, I don't know how far I'm in, but it's just really good for that kind
40 million episodes or 40 million seasons.
Yeah, they're
I mean, it's like 13 or 14, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, they surpassed. They're kind of like it's not the new Seinfeld, but people are saying like it's like because the show kind of is about like nothing really or just random things, but they're now like one of the longest running of that. Because even Curb now with 12 seasons ended. It's Always Sunny. Yeah, I think they're on 14 at least. Maybe even.
It's definitely a long time for a sitcom kind of.
Yeah, and they're not stopping. I mean, they just did. I don't remember when the last season was. It was pretty recent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So the 3 actual ones. I'm going to start with this one I was just interested in because it originally was a anime that I heard was actually pretty good, the anime of, and it's a live action. adaptation of it that just came out called Parasite the Gray. This is on Netflix. Have you heard about it?
I mean, I think I've seen it in passing.
Okay.
Not really heard of it.
It's a cool idea, and what I like about it is like I think the CG's done well with it, which it has to be for like what this is about. But it's basically, I haven't watched much of it, but it's just these, you see at the beginning, just these random like parasites fall from the sky. You have no idea, at least at this point, you have no idea where they came from, or what they're doing. And then they take over people. They crawl into people's ears and take them over. And what happens when like they do take them over is just crazy. I don't know. Even if you see the trailer, you see it in the trailer. It's so gory and like unique.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool looking too. And it's done well because, like I said, that's one of those things that could look real bad. And it looks pretty good. But it's a cool
Sounds like
concept.
something I don't want to see.
Yeah, maybe not.
So
It is pretty wild. Like I just seeing that visual, it's yeah.
Heebie-jeebies.
It is. Yeah, it's weird, but I just
it's not in English, right?
no, but they have the English dub, but that's always bad. Yeah, no, it's Korean. Yeah, it's Korean. So no, I usually do that, especially now that I'm getting more used to reading subtitles, even though I still don't enjoy reading subtitles because I still feel like we talk about, I feel like I'm missing things.
Yes.
Visually.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, it's not a whole lot story wise yet, but it's just a cool concept. I always want to check these out just because I know if it's like a beloved anime that people love, like these are really good storytellers in those kind of shows and really unique premises. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to check it out. So, I mean, like now again, Avatar didn't really like as much, but like One Piece was amazing.
One Piece is great.
Yeah.
Avatar, I mean, I didn't watch all of it yet still, but
me neither.
I think it's more, I mean, I think it was good for what it was trying to be, and it definitely a little bit different target audience.
Yeah, that's true.
Like younger kids. So
yeah, but I think One Piece is better because it still could be kind of for kids, but I guess it's more like teens, grown up.
And older.
Yeah, but I mean, like that. Like I can't wait for that second season, which I'm glad they're doing. So, all right, the next one,
number 3.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess it is number 3. I forgot I'm actually doing 4, but I was thinking 3 because It's Always Sunny, whatever. But yes, this one I know you said you haven't watched yet is Ripley.
Correct.
On Netflix.
But I definitely wanted to check out just for the visuals.
Man, because I had no idea about it. And going into it, it's funny, we just talked about on the movie we just did, which was in black and white. And like, I think the same day I started that movie, I started this show. I was like, okay, black and white again.
Yeah.
Also very, very unique visually with the black and white. It's very stylish. Not in a heightened way. I don't really know how to explain it. Yeah, you definitely gotta check it out. I mean, the show's good too. It is slow. That's intentional, I would say, for the story because the movie kind of starts that way as well. That it's based on. But it's. I wanted to mention, actually, the director and the writer, Steve Zalian. Have you heard of him? Apparently, he's a big deal too. I was looking up what he's
the director.
Done. He's the director and the writer of this. Right.
Well,
have you heard that name?
I think was more a writer.
I looked. He directed at least some of this.
No, but I'm saying like he's more known as a writer.
Okay. So you have heard of him then?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Like I didn't look at his as much as the cinematographer, but yeah, I think he's a pretty big deal too. And so far, it is really good. Obviously, so Andrew Scott is the main actor in this, which we all know him. He's great. He plays a really good Ripley in this. The other main actor is Dakota Fanning, which I haven't seen much of her yet in this, but I'll see how she is in this. You looking up Steve Zalian? Okay, cool. Because then I'm going to talk about the cinematographer too, because I wrote down his name as well. We're looking at writing credits.
Yeah, so he wrote The Irishman.
Ooh, okay.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Moneyball.
Nice.
American Gangster.
Yeah,
All the King's Men, Gangs of New York, Hannibal.
Okay.
Mission Impossible,
The first one.
Clear and Present Danger, Schindler's List.
Oh, Schindler's List. Okay, wow, that's quite a resume.
Like I said, I thought it yes, he thought I'd heard the name sound familiar, but more as a
Man,
writer.
just for Schindler's List alone, like that's all you really need to play.
So, as director,
So you did direct, right?
he directed a few minutes, All the King's Men.
Okay. Oh, The Night of. I have not seen that, but I heard that was good.
But the
That mini series, yeah.
And then civil action, and then Searching for Bobby Fischer. So
Okay.
he's directed a few movies.
Oh yeah, so not much there. Okay, so he's a writer.
Like I said, he's more known for writer as far as
I think I heard somewhere he's like a pretty big what do they call them? Screen doctors, where they like come in and
script doctors.
sorry, not screen. Yeah, script doctors. That makes more sense. Not screen. I'm thinking of screenwriters. No, script doctors. Yeah, I think he's a pretty prominent script doctor as well. Anyway, so there you go. That's all you know about the dialogue in this too. It's great, but man, so in every way you do have to stick with it though, because it is intentionally slow. I think you'll like it more than like obviously the movie.
But it's
we just
in
talked about.
English though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And man, they do so well. The time period, it's 1961.
Okay.
I think it was filmed in New York, which like, man, filming anything in New York right now, like, and they have to make it look like the time period. Like,
Right.
I can't imagine the budget for this show is just crazy. Anyway, so yeah, it's.
Well, I think I also heard
Yeah.
this was originally supposed to be like on Showtime or something originally, and then it got
okay.
somehow ended up on Netflix instead. Which maybe would explain maybe a little bit of it being not the usual thing you find on Netflix.
No, it's not. But it would have done really bad on Showtime.
Yeah.
So honestly, I would say like an HBO thing would be the best option for this, because I also don't think it was good that putting them all out at once with this kind of show too is
classic.
I know. I just because
Actually,
it's just,
what it really would have done? Good Apple TV.
yes. Yeah, that's right. We were talking about they're kind of the HBO.
And and they're kind of more. I don't know. It's pretty common for them to have a little bit more obscure, or more artsy kind of stuff. I guess.
Yeah.
But it seems to be more open to that.
This is definitely artsy, but it's really good on every level. And the cinematographer is Robert Elswit, which I didn't look and see what else he did, but I was mentioning to you, he did pretty much all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies, and that's really all. I have him down. I know you probably haven't watched many of his movies, but I have him down on our list of directors because he has a lot of really great movies.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites is There Will Be Blood, I already mentioned, which just the look of that movie alone is just great. But I imagine you probably have seen maybe a few Paul Thomas Anderson movies.
No, don't.
Maybe,
don't
although
bet,
I
don't
thought
bet
about
on it.
I know, I thought you had seen more
No.
Coen Brothers movies than I thought. But anyway, yeah, I think you'll really like this. And even if you don't like the movie, you can just watch it for the visuals because it's incredible visually.
Yeah.
Even I would say even the first couple shots alone, you'll right away, you'll just, because I had no idea going into it, and immediately I was like, holy crap, this looks great. So
Very cool.
all right, last one. This is the one I was wondering if you watched yet. Is Sugar on Apple?
I have not watched it
Oh
yet.
man, okay. All right. I mean, I haven't watched much, but I wanted to. Yeah, I know you did want to check it out, though,
I do.
right? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
All right, I won't
Just,
get
you
into
know,
it much.
Just
but-
been working,
Yeah, I know.
making the money.
I know. Well, honestly, all of this stuff that especially new stuff that comes out, I always like to check it out. But then it's a lot of this stuff I barely even have gotten through a whole episode, or maybe just only one episode.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been able to do a whole lot with a lot of this. But
Yep.
I won't mention story at all with this, but this is really cool. This is I would say pretty stylized too, but in a different way than Ripley. And obviously Colin Farrell's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I really like his character in this. My note about him, specifically with this character, right away he comes across as definitely a man with integrity, and he's also this random huge movie buff, which is cool. And they actually they play into it and even show some flashbacks to actual movie scenes, which I thought was interesting.
Huh.
Which I'm assuming you have to get the rights to all that stuff to put
Probably,
it in there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's cool. And it's a really cool premise. I mean, it's just he's a detective. So,
Mhm.
but what's interesting about this is there's something with the show that I'm wondering if it's more than just a detective show.
Mm.
And I don't want to get into anything else, but it maybe like other genres, because I thought it was only just a detective show, and I don't know if this is based on a story already or anything or a book,
Yeah.
but I'm just wondering about that, which would be cool because I thought it literally was just, just a normal.
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, whenever I get around to watch more of it. And then the other thing I want to mention is this also, not in the same way as Ripley at all, but there's some really cool camera movement, I want to say. When two people are talking, they're doing this like really weird angle and like kind of moving between them. So it's not like two, what would you call that? Where it's going back
Two
and forth with two
cameras.
cameras.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one, they're kind of like, it's a weird angle too. I don't know how to explain it. You just got to watch it and see. But I was like, this is interesting. I haven't really seen this before. I didn't hate it. It was kind of cool. But
yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Cool.
That's all that. So yeah, what do you got?
First of all, so started 3-Body Problem.
Nice.
Just the first episode.
Okay.
So far, liking it, I guess. It seems like it's still a lot of like things to take in and things that are going on, and so
just buckle up. There's just way more of that to try to comprehend.
So we'll see where that goes. Plan on watching more.
I do want to reiterate what I said about that show, though. I think they did do the best job, though, in kind of getting you to grasp it in a way, because it is just some crazy concepts. So I think they do pretty well to kind of get you to understand it. So
yeah. And then just a couple things on Vision Pro. So they released like a highlight reel of last season of MLS. So it was just a bunch of soccer stuff, but
nice.
That was kind of cool to see. Like
specifically for Apple Vision Pro. Okay.
Yeah, it's in that same 180 3D
nice
footage, like shot like that. So like, you even were in like so they showed different shots from different games, and then like it was like a highlight reel though that was cut, but then even like the final game, and then the winners of the cup for last year, and then like them like opening champagne bottles in like their locker room or whatever, like so you're all in these like little different moments really quick. So it was one of those things where it was cool, but it was definitely like too short and almost like cut too fast, because you just like as soon as you're like, oh, this is cool, and it's like cut to something else. And so but it was still neat to see. And then the other thing that's different, that so it's kind of funny, but the Gucci app.
Yeah. There's a Gucci app that does something specific with the Vision Pro.
Yeah. So, well, I think it's like the normal app you can download elsewhere. But they have a 20-minute documentary about the new guy that's going to be the creative director at Gucci.
Wow.
That just started. And so this documentary, what they do in the Vision Pro version is you're still watching it on a 2D window floating, right? Like, so because the documentary is, again, like I think you can watch the documentary probably in the app on other devices, and it's just like fills the screen in your device. But because it's isn't just like a giant screen floating in front of you instead, but it tells you sit down and enjoy the experience. So what they do is they augment that with things that are happening in the film. So like he shows up in a train station, and then like this giant, pretty realistic looking 3D train like pulls up behind the screen, and it's like the size of the room.
Oh,
like
okay.
And then later, like and I didn't finish the thing. I've only watched like maybe the first 5 minutes, and like I said, it's like 20 minutes long. then they're like talking about we're in Milan down this cobblestone street, and like they're gonna do the runway, and like when they start talking about it, all of a sudden it fades in, and then like you're in that space, and it's like just a 3D rendered, non-animated, probably because I don't think there's anything moving in it, but it was full 360 VR of it, and you're like in that space, so you're like looking around, and you're like, oh, I'm right here in this like little square in Milan.
Oh, cool.
But then the screen's still there, but that stuff kind of comes and goes. It's not like there all the time, and so there was other stuff like those were like some of the. So it was kind of neat, and it was kind of an
cool.
interesting way to use the virtual space mixed in with like a 2D content. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, any of the 360 kind of thing, like just being able to visit anywhere and have it be like that, like that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's like the closest you're gonna feel to without actually going.
which is weird. Like still, I'm surprised because now that it's been out for like 2 months, right? Surprised they're still not. I mean, even like I don't know, National Geographic, somebody
right.
like just make an app that just says, "Hey, I want to hang out in this spot and this spot."
I know.
Like
Spend hours on that.
Like you would, and I would spend money for that.
Oh yeah.
Like it would be cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know why no one's made that, but
Yeah, because I'm assuming if you just do like Street View, Apple Maps, or like satellite, like
it's not the same.
no,
No,
I didn't
it
think
needs
so.
to be full immersive thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. But yeah, and then just keeping up with Paul Morale, still pretty cool.
Okay.
And then I didn't realize. So I didn't even realize who this person was till this most recent episode. It's Ricky Martin. Is that his, like,
Yeah, he's in it.
yeah, he's in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I didn't realize who it was.
I know he looks different.
Oh yeah, and he's older than
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
And I was like, man. But at the same time, I looked it up, and he's like in his 50s. He's like ripped.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Has he done a lot of acting?
I don't know.
Hmm.
But anyway, it was like something when I realized who it was, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
It's random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into Shogun episode 8.
I'll say hopefully his acting's better than Dua Lipa's acting in Argyle. I haven't even seen that movie. It's just what you guys said. You're like, she was bad.
Well, I mean,
I was just trying to think of other
I would be
musicians
hesitant.
that are
I would be hesitant to blame that on her, though.
true. Yeah.
Because the overall film
Yeah, you're right.
is not. So there could just been some bad direction there
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, Shogun episode 8, The Abyss of Life. Toranaga's defeated clan moves to Edo and
Mhm.
awaits their fate. Blackthorn must decide who he fights for, the lord who has turned his back on him, or the ambition that brought him to Japan in the first place. So overall thoughts on this episode?
It's I mean it's definitely the calm before the storm for sure. So I think we are getting the penultimate
battle.
the next
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was still I mean just some really great scenes in this.
Yes.
Like always.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Especially at the end.
Yes.
When we get there I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll both say this is the best scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe best scene so far in the I don't know. I think it's like
yeah, it's up there.
yeah. All right. Well then I mean I kinda agree it's still just great.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like
Great
at this
too.
point,
It's like
like is it really gonna fall off in the last two?
I can't imagine it
No.
will. If anything, it's gonna just go out with a bang.
Yeah.
All right, so we open with them traveling to Edo to mourn the death of Toranaga's son. Like, so I liked how Yabushige comments on because Toranaga is like coughing because he's not feeling well.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that's I'd rank that above some, I can't remember what he said, but then he's like, but it's above this, but below boiled to death.
Oh,
He
right.
gives like a ranking
Yeah.
to the guy writing his autobiography. I don't know. You want to call
Yeah,
it?
probably autobiography. Whatever that would be then, yeah.
Yeah. Which I honestly, I started out.
Or is it the person writing his will?
Well, I think he's doing both.
He's doing both, yeah.
And honestly, I liked him in the beginning. I was like, oh, I like this guy. He's a little
Yeah.
like, but then like, and he was kind of like a little bit of a, I don't know, like a side character that was like on the fence then there for a while in the middle. But now that he's kind of swung back full on Toranaga and like this one, like I really liked him in this episode.
Yeah. I agree.
You also get that Mariko tells Blackthorn he's released of his service and he can finally get what he's been begging
Asking
for
every episode.
Yeah, he's got his freedom and he can go get his men in a ship and do what he wants. And then we go to the scene in Osaka with Shido proposing marriage to Akiba.
Yeah, this is the new character that got introduced.
Yeah, last couple episodes. Yeah.
Yep.
She's the mother of the heir.
Yes. She her reaction didn't seem like she was
too enthused about it. But yeah, that's kind of otherwise a nothing scene. But the then we get the scene where they're toasting to Toranaga's son, and Toranaga's still not there because he's not feeling well. And but then Yabushige's nephew kind of speaks up, Muru, whatever his name is. Omi, that's his
it's
name.
Omi, yeah.
Omi, yeah, his nephew, and speaks up about, his death, that wanted to be wasted and whatever. So, but yeah, that was a little touching scene. But
yeah,
then we get the funeral of Yabushige's son, Toranaga's son, and Toranaga still doesn't show up to that because he's not feeling well.
Right.
And is he really sick? Is he faking it? Because this is what I thought the whole time.
I didn't even consider that.
I think he was faking it.
Part of the plan still.
Yeah, all part of the plan.
the long con.
Yeah, he and then there's the note about some of the guys wearing armor to the funeral because they haven't given up yet. They still want to go to war.
Yeah.
No, it was. I mean, they burned them like under in a big box, and then we see Toranaga has a new granddaughter. He hasn't gone to see her either because of the illness. Then we get a scene with the priest and Blackthorn.
Like we get the priest again finally.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
Yeah, and that was interesting because he even alludes to something that like later he's like, "Are you gonna wear that when you go visit your men?"
Right.
And I figured that was gonna come back, and it definitely did. But then the priest, which is why he's really there, goes and meets with Toranaga, and again, interesting. He was trying to help him, give him a way out, and like to, if he aligns and with Akiba or Ochiba, however you say her name,
right?
That he could have a chance, because then Ishido has nothing if he's loses her. But Toranaga's like, no, nope. we gotta stick to her. I'm gonna stick to what I said. Which is definitely like, everyone's morale is definitely getting down.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, come on, why is he giving up? Then we get this scene of Mariko has tea with her husband.
Yeah. The score in this scene was great.
Yeah.
One of the best, I think, so far.
Yeah, this was like our first like kind of deeper scene, right? Like I mean, all the other stuff. Not that there's not meaning when I guess the sun when they were toasting the sun a little bit, but
Right.
but like this one, like man, like her just going through what her duty as the wife, and then he offers her like them to both commit yeah what
Seppuku.
yeah,
Yeah.
together. She's like, you still don't get it.
No,
And
he
then-
doesn't.
And it's like, I mean, I just put like, you're so clueless, dude. And it's like, I mean, she basically is like, not in a million years would I choose you, is like what she tells him.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's rough. That's some
It
rough
is
stuff.
rough. Yeah.
Rough stuff. He's all like, I remember when we were so happy.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I can't remember that stuff at all.
Nope.
You're like, what?
Man, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well, no, she just wanted to die even from the beginning of their marriage. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, another rough moment for one of our characters, Blackthorn. Then it finds his crew.
Oh, one.
Well, we only see one of them,
Yeah.
but the rest, yeah.
But he asked, what do you say, 5?
Yeah, 5 or 6 of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. But they, I mean, one, it looks like they obviously have been having fun, drinking.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's like, yeah, it'd be good to get them out of here. They've been drinking all the sake here, all in our whole area. And then so it looks like they've just been drinking and having women and whatnot, and
Yep.
having a good old time. He's been concerned for them all this time, and then but then he starts talking to the guy, and he's like, no, we don't want to go back to all that crap that you put us through, and so they get into a little brawl, and of course Blackthorn's not drunk, so he kind of easily has the upper hand on the guy, and then
Oh, yeah.
but it's interesting that he just like wipes his hands of them, like he just kind of like, yeah, I'm not wanting anything to do with these guys, which I guess, I mean, maybe it was really, I guess he could really start to see how barbaric maybe the ways of, because he's gotten so used to the culture in Japan now, because he's been there for months, and
He's realizing, oh, wait, when they would call me a barbarian, kind of makes sense now. Yeah.
yeah. So then he goes and meets with Yabashige, wants to serve him and say, hey, let's go take the let's not just stand here and wait to die.
Right.
I got a ship. And then he gives him a compliment about him being like a little bit more where do you use? But and he referenced when he found him, like
Right, in episode 1.
like helped him, but he fell off the cliff and he was drowning, and
And he was basically going to kill himself then. Yeah.
Of course, Yabashige refuses. Says he's got to stick to his his lord and his honor, and yeah. So that was an interesting scene. Somewhere in there, though, because then the last thing Blackthorn says, then Mariko's like, "Was that for them, or do you want me to translate that, or is that for me?"
That was good.
Yeah, and that was good. Yeah, like when his loyalty, like something about loyalty, is like becomes, ridiculous because it's just dying or something. Yeah, it was said better than that, but like something along those lines.
Yeah, that was another loyalty line.
Yeah,
in the episode. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
That was good too.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we see Jin and Kiku, and Ami is with them too, but looking at her future spot.
This is the only note I had down for this part, because it's just funny. Like, that's where they're going to set up, and then the church ends up literally right next
to it. And then we cut to the priest, and he's like,
that's rough.
He's like, oh, who's over there?
Like, this is going to be A brothel, a whole red light district.
Yeah, right
and
next to the church.
Right next to the church, yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's best place to put the mission, right?
True. Yeah.
But yeah. But this is where like she's like, I can see it. It's so beautiful, and that's where the line came from. Because then
look.
Omi's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I can't. What is she talking about? And yeah. But yeah, and then we get another scene with
What was it you said? This becomes modern day. Which city?
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. The it's funny when seeing it. Odo.
Ito.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Ito. But seeing it in this really reminded me of the Blue Eye Samurai, and like I don't know if that's the same town they're in, but like just looking at it, like I was like, oh, this really looks like it.
Oh, and that's what were you saying? That's right after this time period or right before?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Lucas was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the history better. Then we go to the scene with Akiba and the old lady that dies.
Yeah.
So I didn't really remember who this old lady was.
I had no idea.
But evidently she's like, stop messing around, stop playing games. And Ishido has nothing to offer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then she dies. Yeah, it's kind of a, again, these scenes are so short that it's kind of like these like little sprinkle of things that when we go back to Osaka, where they are. But then Toranaga assembles all the generals, and this scene is the scene.
Oh, where he brings everyone in.
Yeah, all the generals. Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is the
and then
one.
we have Hiramatsu.
Yeah.
Finally, so like as
grandfather. Yeah.
So Toranaga brings them all in. He has them sign their allegiance to him, and then he's like, "Yes, I'm still planning on surrendering." And then a couple of the guys start speaking up. They're like, "This is crazy. We can't." And then, and finally, then Hiramatsu challenges him and says, "I'll do seppuku if you don't change your plan, because this is crazy."
And then
it's like so intense.
It is.
And
then he gets
Bintaro to join him. The second.
Well, when you said join, I was like,
it's the finish mostly doesn't suffer in pain.
Yeah, no. But at first it seemed like he was like, oh, he's gonna have to kill himself too. But then I understood, yeah.
To be my second, which is like the person finishing.
Right.
Yeah, so then they're over there, and it's like the
acting
game,
in this is
it is insane. And it's like a game of chicken.
Yeah, it is the most extreme form of chicken.
And then this, I feel like this was even more like we saw more.
Oh, definitely.
We saw last
when
time
he's cutting his
and then
stomach open. Yeah,
he's bleeding, and then we get him to see they actually cut the head off and roll, and just wow, it was. I mean, everyone's like teared up and like don't do this and bleeding. And Toranaga stands his ground.
I know. Well, when we get to the final thing he says, though, was good, though.
Well, yeah. So then after that, we see he meets with Mariko, and we find out it was all part of his plan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "This is what was needed." He knew his part, and this is the only way they would believe that I really was gonna surrender. And assuming this means he's trying to draw him out to have him come to them so that they can actually have a better chance of defeating him than going to him. But then he asks Mariko if she's ready to do her part, which is like, oh, well, what is her part? What do you think her part is? Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I don't. And it like cuts right after that. I thought that was gonna be the end of the episode
I know.
because it cuts right after it's on her face and she says that like
Yeah.
she's ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we see that she joins up with
Yeah.
Blackthorn, but we don't. I don't know. Maybe she'll do more than just translating because we know that she actually is like pretty skilled
True.
in battle. But I don't know if it's something more along those lines,
Or maybe she's so. I mean,
maybe
this-
kind of like a
this jumping-
negotiator because she's so good of
Well, also she's
being a translator.
just jumping ahead, but like because then we see Blackthorn and Yabashige actually did become allies and get on the ship, and they're, I guess, heading for Osaka and
Mm-hmm.
or something. We don't really know, but that's what you assume. And she joins them, so maybe it's so funny because he says that Toranaga when he's talking to her, he's like, so now did he already did the engine already pledge to Yabashige? And she's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like so predictable.
Yep.
So but yeah, so maybe he just sends her along because he knows that, because they still can't communicate too well, Yabashige and
Right.
Blackthorn. So maybe he's like,
he finally was like
maybe he's
allies is what got him to finally understand what he was saying.
right. But I mean, like, if they can't communicate well, maybe it's more just, Toranaga is like, no, you need to make sure that they're successful, and I don't know. But then we did get cut to a scene where Akashiba bows to Shido real briefly, goes back to them before we.
Oh, right.
What does
right.
that mean? Does that mean she's gonna marry him? Do you think? Like bowing to him kind of like implies like
I know.
you're surrendering to him,
But I didn't really get that vibe from it. But it could be. But I didn't really think of it that way.
yeah, I don't know. Because it doesn't really tell you what.
No.
It's just a short scene of her bowing to him, and I don't know. I was just trying to figure out what that is. And then we get the final scene is Toranaga finally visiting the ashes of his son, and just basically like, your death won't be wasted. You and Hiromatsu's lives won't be wasted. We won't waste the time. And basically he's ready. So this is where, like, to me, this scene confirmed that he was faking the sickness all along, because
That would make sense. At
he
this
walked
point.
up to that and he was fine. He was walking around like he was so weak, and had those guys helping him in and out of the rooms, and like he couldn't barely walk in and out of the rooms. And then all of a sudden, like, we see him right before that scene, and like he's like meditating or something, and then he gets up, walks out by himself, no problem, strong, and he's got all the armor on, and he walks out, and he's like,
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, oh yes, my theory all along confirmed. He was never sick.
Should have known. He always has a plan this whole time. I wanted to mention next week's episode is called Crimson Sky, which I just saw. So there we go. They're going through with it. It wasn't a mistake after all.
All along.
They're gonna do it.
All along.
Which makes, again, that's definitely the battle. Like,
yes, we've been waiting for. So obviously next week we're just gonna get a ridiculous battle. I feel like with this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just hope that it's actually like pretty substantial, because like any of those like bigger fights, like they've kind of like done the thing which like a lot of shows do when they want to save on budget, where they're like, oh, we pick up right when the battle ends,
Mhm.
Like even with that flashback, right? They show
Right.
Toranaga when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Then, so like I think they might be.
I think it's been a while, but I feel like I remember seeing. Maybe it's just good editing, but I remember seeing like larger battle scenes in the trailer for this.
Oh, really?
But like it's
I
been
don't
so long
remember
since I
that.
watched the trailer.
Yeah, I
but,
don't remember.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a. I feel like
Yeah.
they've been saving the budget for that.
I think so. Yeah.
Because you can't cheap out now.
No. Not on all this build up. Like I'm hoping it's at the level of like. What was the best one? I guess it's still Battle of the Bastards from Game of Thrones season 6. I think was the best one. Now I don't know if it's gonna be on that level, but that was like
it was
incredible what they did with that. Yeah.
Battle scene.
Yeah. So, I mean, that'd be sick if it goes to that degree. But
yeah, I mean, we'll see. But what I was gonna say is I think, even though I think we're gonna get, it's gonna be a heavy battle episode. I feel like what this show is at its heart is these emotional moments that we've had, some ridiculous ones almost every episode.
Yes,
And
for sure.
So I feel like there's going to have to be something like that in here too, because I feel like it's just as the show creators.
It will. It's not. I mean, it's not going to. Yeah, it's not going to be the battle for the whole 50-some minutes. No, there'll definitely be something very emotional and serious, and we're gonna get another really good line like every or a couple probably every episode. Yeah, get a good line or a good quote.
Well, only 2 more episodes.
Man, yeah, we gotta decide what we're doing after this too.
That's true. If you have any suggestions,
yeah,
and you would like to see us cover or talk about, send it in. Leave a comment.
Fallout's coming out literally now. Tonight.
What's that?
Fallout.
Oh, Fallout. Yes, that's true.
Which looks very good.
Yeah, it also is all dropping at once.
Oh, right.
Which is crazy.
I don't know why they did that.
I don't know. Amazon normally doesn't either, and they just
no.
But they've been doing that this year because Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, that was all at once. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know.
But The Boys is not.
No, it's not.
No, they're doing the first 3, and then weekly, which is kind of what they normally do. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know their strategy. I don't understand Amazon.
It just seems crazy to spend so much money on that sort of content and then just
I know.
I don't know.
Because it's not. Yeah, it's not in the zeitgeist for that long. Then
no.
It's people are talking about it for
a weekend, and that's
really it. Yeah, a week at the most. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have any ideas or suggestions of what you'd like to see us talk about or cover, like I said, leave a comment or send us an email or DM us. Email is feedback@screentimepod.com. And, like and subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, you can follow me at jyoungbar.
And I'm at Jered Youngbar.
Yeah. And next week we will talk about episode 9.
Crimson Sky.
Crimson Sky.